resolution approving the mayor's financial fiscal recovery plan in accordance with section 118.06 of the Ohio Revised Code for submission to the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission and declaring an emergency for the public safety and welfare. Requested by Mayor Gary Norton Jr. Pass the gavel to Councilor Martin, please. He's the senior.
It was closer to me.
Pass it on.
Thank you.
Sponsored by Council President.
I got it wrong.
Okay, Councilor Martin.
Yes. Barbara, resolution 4515 has your name on it. What is your pleasure?
I will sponsor 4515 and move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, discussion. What discussion? Barbara?
Okay, we had quite an extensive discussion here pertaining to this financial plan. And the financial plan was a draft, and it's basically saying what the projections will be in the future as any plan will be. And we discussed the ordinance number 5 in here, and we also discussed the life source file, and we also discussed the issues of monies going forward. And there was some concerns as we looked at the plan.
Thank you. Any other discussion on resolution number 4515? No? Honorable Mayor Gary Norton, anything you want to say about 4515? Okay, Madam Clerk, we're ready to call for the vote.
Okay, Councilor King?
Yay.
Councilor Martin?
Yay.
Councilor Baker?
Yay.
Councilor Thomas?
Yay.
All right, it passes.
4515 is passed. 4615, you can read it for the record, but it's in committee. We need to read it, Barbara?
No,
No.
it's stated
Okay, before we move on,
All right.
can we ask the clerk to draft a letter to the fiscal commission asking them to have an emergency meeting so that they can pass the ordinance? Can we draft a letter to the fiscal commission asking them to have an emergency meeting so that they can pass what we just passed, so that they can lift the deduction that they just passed, so that we won't be in jeopardy of laying off police, closing the service department? If you want, you can attach the mayor's letter stating that he now had to do that. Attach it to the letter and ask them to have an emergency meeting so that they can reverse that. Yes, yes.
September 30th at 1:30.
Absolutely. Ask them to do it next week. We're talking about people's livelihoods here. We're talking about jobs.
In consensus on for that, everybody around here, we all right with that, Barbara?
Yes, that's
Okay, now let it go out tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in consensus. Let the record show that we're in consensus that the letter will go to the fiscal commission, that we have passed a financial recovery plan, and then they can get rid of that. What is it?
And we want them to have an emergency meeting to pass it so that they can lift the deduction in expenditures.
That's okay? You understand?
Yes.
Okay. Is that okay, Barbara?
I don't have a problem.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I'm just going to say this.
Okay.
She looked at the, she polled the commission. That's number 1. And everybody, when she polled the commission, she asked what were the dates that were available. So they agreed on the 31st, 30th. And that's what they did at that particular time. So that's why I'm saying you got people that are on that commission that might not be available for emergencies when you're already called for this. And also, I'm just speaking. I'm not dictating. I'm just speaking. And this is just for 1 month, the reduction? Yeah. Didn't you say?
We don't know how long it's for. Can we please just
I'm
ask?
asking a question, Mr. King.
I believe it was in reference to...
Hold it. You guys are out of order. Barbara has the floor right now.
I'm asking, Madam director, was it for the whole entire time or was it for 1 month?
It's by month, for every month that we are in, not in compliance.
Okay, so if you are dealing with this month, you're only having a problem with this month. And if you get, by the time we can do it and have it in place for next month, if she don't do it for this month, am I correct?
She didn't state the months when they put that, imposed the
Yes,
15%.
Hold it, old mage,
I believe
Hold it.
that is correct.
That's correct. I know it's correct, because I am.
so what is your suggestion, Barbara, what do we need to do?
We're asking, we're telling her that we have passed this, and on the next commission meeting, which is the end of this month, we expect them to be able to pass it.
Well, if they have a hard time bringing all these people, does she come from Columbus, that hand lady?
Yes.
Can they do a voice report over the phone?
No.
They don't
No,
know.
all right.
Look, just write the letter.
Write the
If it
letter.
doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Mr. King,
If it goes to the public,
Councilman King, I'm not saying not to write the letter. I am telling you what we have is fact.
Okay, let me intercede here.
Okay.
It's a consensus of the entire
Until
council.
you get all up
that
in
we
our
have to write the letter, and
Jesus.
Tracy's gonna write the letter, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
move
I'm
on to-
just stating it's for a 1 month period.
Thank you. Your point is very valid.
47.
Barbara, Tom, let's go to resolution 4715 so we can get out of here. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Resolution,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
4715.
resolution number, you wanna pass the gavel back to Council?
Well, she's on here too.
That's Councilor Paul.
Read it, please.
Everybody's getting slapped at me. All right, resolution number 4715, a resolution to authorize East Cleveland City Council to retain Buckley King LPA as special legal counsel to advise and assist East Cleveland City Council in declaring an emergency. Requested by Council President Barbara J. Thomas, sponsored by Council of the Whole.
Robert G. Thomas, this bears your name. What is your pleasure?
I will sponsor, resolution 4715 and move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
A second.
There's a second. Open for discussion. Go ahead, Barbara.
This, resolution is based on the fact that, we have a writ of mandamus lodged against the entire council individually, and the, a law director has reclused herself for reasons she says will cause her to lose her license, and it is in conflict, and recommended that we get an outside counsel. Therefore, I am recommending that to this council that we take Buckley and King LPA, which we already have, who's doing pro bono work for us, who is now willing to represent us under the agreement which states that they would do other representation for us.
Any other discussion? Brandon King?
No,
Okay, Mansell Baker?
no.
All right, I'm all right with it. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilman,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Gary. Go ahead.
you do know that the mayor has a right.
Absolutely. I will not deny that to you, Honorable Mayor. All right?
I didn't see the actual resolution.
Mhm.
I'm sure that it's somewhere in the room, but I didn't see the actual resolution. All I see is the title.
Okay.
So we've been.
Here it is.
Read something.
Okay.
So we all know that council entered an agreement with Buckley King,
Mhm.
where there was the talk about this, well, this will be at no cost to the city, and the law firm simply wants to help the city
Well, that is
explore
for
options.
what we're doing.
Barbara, let me
Simply
be.
wants to, so we now know that that's not necessarily the arrangement with this one yet.
Okay.
So you go from a situation where there's no cost to the city to a situation where now they will be billing the city.
Okay.
So that is
No,
what it
that's
is.
not correct.
Hold it, Barbara. You need
This is a fee arrangement, I think. It says that you're retaining them as your counsel. So I have a question and maybe another statement.
Okay.
Is this a resolution, and again, I just wasn't able to read it, is it a resolution that authorizes payments to Buckley King?
Yes.
Okay, so you're switching from the, we
No.
won't pay for anything to the,
No.
we now pay.
Okay.
No.
Okay, go ahead, Barbara, articulate it, maybe better than me.
Okay, the arrangement that we had that was pro bono is still in effect. That is in effect due to the fact that he is, the firm is doing exactly what it says, going out to, arrange for consultants to come in and look for other options that we can deal with as opposed to just doing a merger with the city of Cleveland. Now, having said all that, since the chief of staff found it necessary to bring Mr.
Michael Smith.
Michael Smedley, who is the chief of staff, to bring charges through a writ of mandamus against each and every counselor, that brought about another situation that had to be dealt with. Under normal circumstances, I guess, according to my law director, had it not been one of her boss, she would have been able to represent us.
Not our boss.
She said her boss.
I don't know if this should be.
Okay.
That's her boss.
So,
It's not
what,
debate, it's a
hey,
Okay, we're having a discussion, we
Okay.
need your vote, man, so hold it
So-
tight, go ahead.
And take care of the city.
so basically, what we had to do was, under the same agreement, if there was something other than the bringing in the consultants and all of that, they would be willing to do that as a fee. But the other options and so forth is pro bono. To represent us in the writ of mandamus, that is a fee.
All right.
So if you would indulge for a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this is paid.
And that's a separate
This
issue.
is paid for the mandamus. Just as I've said before, I said this is the fiscal commission, you probably heard it by now. That mandamus action, I didn't bring it, but it doesn't seek anything from the city. It's done at no cost to the city. The mandamus action simply is asking council to take that action that should result from the petition under the Ohio law. That's it. So if council does its duty under the Ohio law to move that thing forward, then there's no charge. The lawsuit is dismissed. That's it. That's all the lawsuit asks. So it's at no cost to the city, and there's no cost if council simply votes to appoint those three people to that commission. That's it. It's over. So that being said, with this particular thing here, I know there was a query of the finance director, and council has a couple of accounts on paper. That's fine. But just know that there is not that amount of cash from those two line items sitting in an account somewhere waiting to be spent for whatever purpose. If this is done, it will result in layoffs, and it will result in layoffs of the police. Just so you know. It will probably result in about 6 to 8 police officers being laid off if we are forced to pay the legal.
Okay, Brandon.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Mayor. Now, I wasn't privy to the conversations with Buckley King, but from my seat and what I thought when we got the mandamus down, we needed to retain legal counsel. But in my thoughts, right, because you did state this too.
We know we
He
can't
got
do
the
that.
floor, go ahead, Brandon.
You did state
can't do
this
that.
before. So what I'm thinking is, and I'm hoping that we get a response to the request that we sent out for somebody to say whether or not the petition for annexation is valid. And if we get that, we won't need the lawyer. If they say, yes, it's valid, then we move forward. We've already started the
They won't
process
say
of
that.
getting the names and looking at the legislation. So
It's not
what I'm
valid.
hoping is that we get that
Brandon, you're out
response
of order.
before we need the
Brandon,
lawyer,
you're
so we don't
out of
incur
order.
any cost
It's
Brandon.
not, it's
You're out of
to the city, because we know the city can't
It's not-
But I'll just say.
I got to
It's
cut
not
off.
valid.
Election certified.
Call for
It's
the
not
vote.
certified.
Call for the vote. Come on, let's have a vote.
Let's take that to the bid.
It's done. I've cut the debate over. Call for the vote, Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Counselor King,
Yay.
Counselor Baker, Counselor Martin?
Yay,
Counselor Thomas?
it's passed.
Cannot discuss anything about the writ of mandamus.
That's right. Don't-
7:20, the meeting's adjourned. That's
Yeah.
all.
Get you a lawyer, get you a lawyer. Cause I know they ain't about